All right, man. Torch up. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Ah, Puerto Rican. All right, man. So look, today's episode, we're gonna be talking about is another rap war coming? Kendrick Lamar, why he about to start another rap war? And will this be Jay-Z, Nas, and the Clips and everybody involved? Oh man. So before we get into that, I got to get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, 16,000, 17,000, 18,000 subscribers. Over 18,200 to be exact. And yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from. If you want to leave a donation, link is right here on the screen. Cash App. Shout out to everybody that sent the Cash Apps. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're gonna get it, man. We're gonna do it. Arm is itching a little bit. You know what I mean? It's hot outside. And my ex-girlfriend taught me something that I should never do ever again because she's in complete numbskull. She said, put Vaseline with your lotion. I was going around looking like a shiny ass monkey. You know what I'm saying? So. All right, so let's get to it, man. Let's go. You already know what it is. Torture Talk. Move this stuff out the way. All right, it's from courtesy of Fantastic Hip Hop. Let's get it, man.
To get to what is about to be the next chapter of rap's greatest run. Now, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, well, if you are as ready as I am to get to what is about to be the next chapter of rap's greatest run and see how with Kendrick Lamar's latest verse, we are really getting to a point where it's impossible to compare him to any other MC because he is truly getting that great. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton, and as what we are about to see is really going to be the biggest moment in hip-hop since the Super Bowl and is truly a generational display like we only ever see a few times ever.
I mean, I will say this, and I've been saying this, Kendrick Lamar has definitely ascended to another level. Like, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't think we ever seen anything like this. Now, don't get me wrong. People have their runs. They got their runs. You know what I'm saying? They got their runs. My arm is itching. But it's a difference between having a run and actually, because people could have their runs, but to me, sometimes they're just running, but they're not actually elevating. He's running and elevating. He's going on an upward trajectory. I don't think a lot of artists, especially hip hop artists, isn't doing that. They'll just say, oh, I ran the whole summer. You just did a couple of singles and that's it. But you ain't breaking no records. You ain't really do nothing. He's like going like this. He's out of here. This is crazy.
Make sure to leave that like as right now with the king of hip hop. Well, as Pusha T, Malice, and Pharrell were hosting a listening party for their new album for a big group of people to hear. Well, clearly within this, they knew exactly what they were doing, as by letting a large group of people in attendance actually record the record itself, including such people as fellow GNX feature AZ Chike. Well, really here, the Clips have set everything up to be absolutely viral, and of course they have achieved that so far, as when they played the record and let everybody actually hear the song that they did with Kendrick Lamar called Chains and Whips, and didn't just play their parts, but actually played some of Kendrick's verse. Well, really, for Pusha T and his entire team, they once again knew exactly what they were doing and how they were about to create a...
Man, I'm telling y'all now, listen, I heard the verse, I heard some of it, but I didn't really listen to it. But I read the lyrics. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, I can see why people going to be upset. He's drawing a line in the sand. Like, he ain't playing no games. Kendrick ain't playing no games. He really not. You know, and I think at this point, a lot of artists are kind of like, they're kind of afraid. I'll be honest. I never seen hip hop. I never seen hip hop crippled like this before. Never. Crippled. Like really crippled. I never seen it. And I really believe that the Clips, Kendrick, Jay-Z, Nas, you got the older cats and newer cats. Well, Jay-Z would, Kendrick would be new, but Clips would be kind of old too. But this right here, man, it's unbelievable. They could start a whole new movement, man. They can, man. They really can.
Another one of the genre defining moments in this era in hip hop, because again, just by playing some of this record from Kendrick and letting people record it, and then of course having multiple clips go viral which have surfaced of Kendrick's feature, well, now with this, which again, this isn't even the full song, this is just part of a verse. Well, in typical Kendrick Lamar fashion, he is doing something that nobody else could come close to, because with just a part of his feature here. Well, with what we have heard from Kendrick on top of the Pharrell production, and with this team up from one of the greatest rap duos ever in Clips, well, really, the rap world has absolutely lost it to what is easily one of the best verses we have heard in so long already. And now with this track and this entire moment, as the stakes have really never been higher, what we can say for sure after just hearing part of this verse from Kendrick is that he really was ready for this moment and understood the assignment and some. Because truly from
I definitely believe that he was ready for this. And I definitely, a lot of people saying that at this point, I think Kendrick's definitely putting himself in a position where people got to chase him. I don't see how people could say, well, he's still dissing Drake or he's still doing this. I think when you get to this point in your career, and I gotta say this, Kendrick Lamar is the biggest rapper, but he's also one of the most popular rappers right now. And he's doing things that I think a lot of rappers of this magnitude would never do. He's like, you gotta understand, a real MC is at the top of the game right now. See, I'm not to say that J. Cole wasn't a real, he was just a punk, but we got a real actual lyricist at the top of the game. Now, their lyricists do run the game, don't get me wrong, but it was always like a shadow casted over them. I would say now, Kendrick is he's in a different space.
What we have heard with this entire track, Kendrick Lamar didn't just work on this record to make a moment or a single track, but to truly ingrain himself within a classic body of work that is going to stand for something so much bigger than just one rapper ever could. And now with all of this, what is more clear than ever, and what the conversation we need to now have is that truly with the level of skill that Kendrick Lamar has just displayed on the first half of this verse alone, what we can now say with more than certainty is that Kendrick is not just the best rapper out right now, but more than ever, to see a guy who is at this point in his career getting this much better despite all of his success and rapping to a level that both in terms of content and technical skill is just taking all the sliders that were already maxed out and maxing them out even more and showing peak performances in both of the most important aspects of rap writing. I mean, really, this is just...
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. He done pushed this thing all the way to the max. And I'm telling y'all now, this verse, once this verse really drop, you know what's crazy? I'm gonna tell y'all something. I think the reason why they wanted to block this verse, in my opinion, obviously, is because of some of the stuff he was saying. Now, I do get that, but I also think that that Drake probably did hear this verse. As a matter of fact, I'm not Drake. UMG heard this verse. Obviously, they heard it. And it definitely is something that I believe that they didn't want to come out right away. Maybe later, but during this whole thing here, I just don't think that that's the case. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they wanted to come out then.
truly unheard of again, and even after everything that Kendrick Lamar has already paved the way for, the fact that we are still getting more music and it is still getting better and more exciting. I mean, at this point, if you have been denying the run we have seen or only thought it was off the momentum of one thing, you can't be serious, because this is truly one of the most dominant periods of music that we have ever seen in the entire history of hip-hop for a single artist. And what's even more crazy about all of this is that now, as Kendrick Lamar did literally record this verse right around when the Drake beef actually happened, as this has literally been confirmed by Push and they were not able to release this for so long, well, truly, if this is what Kendrick was doing then, well, truly, as an entire hip-hop fandom, we should be scared to hear what Kendrick has to sound like next, because after all of the winning that he has done since the beef, now that we know that even before all of that, Kendrick was walking into this track with the same energy that somebody like Tupac had on Hit 'Em Up, but with the lyrical genius of something much more complex. Well, truly, with this combination of both passion and genius, Kendrick
Definitely think that is he definitely walking into this track with a lot of energy. A lot of energy. I think that the record labels, Drake and everybody else is pretty scared. I think that he don't necessarily, from what I'm hearing, he don't necessarily communicate with the record labels. He only submits his music and that's it. And I don't think he even submits his music to what he's asking for approval. I think he's in a deal where, from what my understanding, his deal is he does what he wants, and whatever he puts out is what he puts out, and they decide to promote it or not. So, I mean, we're going to see what's going to happen.
creates a performance here that already feels like an address that is essential for every single hip-hop fan to listen to, and is really a warning to everyone. And now within this warning, what Kendrick is letting everybody know, if they have not understood already, is that the dot era is going on and clearly nobody is gonna stop him. And now, in order to not just compete with Kendrick, but just to sustain any relevance in your career, Kendrick is pretty much letting rappers know what they are gonna need to do to move forward if they want to exist in this genre, because really, with what Kendrick is doing and addressing in its entirety here, well, from telling every single person that he does not mess with the Kumbaya stuff, which is a diss that can be applied to so many soft rappers out right now, from Drake and J. Cole to so many others, to Kendrick.
Yeah, that line was crazy. And he said he ain't with the Kumbaya, like Drake, and like he's still taking shots at J. Cole and Drake. That one bar he said when he said yeah, all his talent was God sent, was God sent you your ass back to the cosmos. That was fire. That was fire. And the people missed that bar. They think he just saying, no, I think he talking about Drake, because Drake called himself the sixth god or whatever. And he's saying that he's talent. You got a lot of talent, but I sent you right back to the gods that you got the talents from. That was fire. I ain't gonna lie, that was super fire.
Then alluding to sending somebody back to the cosmics, which I wonder who that could be about. Well, really, with Kendrick Lamar coming off with a verse where he sounds more angry and mean than we have heard, I would really say, since tracks like Control and Full Circle Enough, his first collab with Pusha T in Nostalgia, well, really, with that demeanor, the respect Kendrick commands here just goes up to an entire new level, especially when he says that hip-hop has been offed again, which is once again a clear statement that is adding to this major genre-spanning address that he is giving, and is just letting everybody know how messed up this thing they left it is. And then right after that bar, as Kendrick is saying that half of his profits go to Rakim, this may be my favorite bar on the track, because first off, what Kendrick is doing is...
That's a fact. Let's be clear, hip hop is dead again. Like, he basically saying, like, yeah, hip hop is dead, and we gonna rebuild this. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he's saying. Yeah, he's man, he's bullying these tracks, bro. Like, he's bullying these dudes. I've been into hip hop for a long time, and I've never seen somebody so aggressive like this. He's so aggressive. And a lot of rappers are just like, I don't know if a lot of rappers are not real MCs. That's what it is. And he's weeding them out. He's really weeding them out.
Seemingly saying that while rappers who ran things before he came back destroy the culture and the lineage of it, he owes so much to a rapper like Rakim, who paved the way for literally everybody today, and who, specifically within the context of this track and the message, With the use of Rakim, it seems like he is trying to reference something like the 2023 BET Awards, where one of the top 5, at the very least, most important MCs ever in terms of how they inspired everybody going after him was just treated like a nobody, as the people there did not really get up and show any sort of passion for somebody the way they should have of his stature. And now truly, once again, with Kendrick Lamar sticking up for a legend like this, we are really seeing how Kendrick and everything he is doing is standing up and trying to represent everything that has ever been important for the betterment in hip hop, and really with the way that Kendrick is moving here and what he is trying to say in the bigger picture of it all. It really does feel like he has every single legend's legacy in mind when he is rapping, and he is just trying to embody all of the great things that came before him, which is just so commendable in this era where especially people are trying to erase what the pioneers did. And now, with Kendrick continuing to unravel these thoughts by saying how many Judases have let him down and then telling us what he learned through these pivotal times.
I definitely think that that bar, people saying it's J. Cole. I think that bar is more for Snoop and more for Game. I don't think it's really about J. Cole. I definitely think that bar was more for Snoop and Game.
And chapters in his career in both the Mr. Morale and GNX era? Well, first off, if we actually look at the lyrics, this is absolutely genius, because as the last bar mentions Rakim and calls him a prophet, and of course Rakim is known as the God MC, well, the clear wordplay that Kendrick has from the Rakim line to the Judas line is so genius, and with this, really from the specific references and names that Kendrick is bringing up through this thing to the points that he is making in the larger sense, really almost everything he is rapping about here feels like the most important rap address he has given aside from whacked out murals, and truly with the way this verse is moving and the precedents that Kendrick is trying to set with the messaging, well, if people have not felt it already, this really does feel like a turning point in rap and like a verse where Kendrick is flexing his lyrical muscle more than we have ever seen. And now with Kendrick Lamar just talking like this when the stakes have been this high, and with him really trying to write the new rule book for the dot era now, what we can also say about such a big thing that he is clearly trying to do here is that what the difference is between Kendrick or any other rapper in so long, and especially when we compare him to somebody like Drake when he thought he was in the lead, is that while any rapper and somebody like Drake would say anything and try to just push it off as what the status quo would be, well now with how Kendrick Lamar is both delivering bars here and crafting rhyme schemes to actually send home the messaging as a whole, well very different compared to a lot of these grifter rappers that have tried to run around over the last few years. These are not just loose thoughts or fragmented lines that are all.
That's true. And I said that earlier. A lot of rappers are definitely scared and they're grifters. They're really not MCs. You're dealing with people who are really not rappers. And they're just out here just making music. But then when they come across somebody like Kendrick, they kind of like, they fold and they get scared.
Thrown together, but they create this powerful picture of where the rap game is going with Kendrick just being at the place he is at. And now, of course, what's really wild is that I am saying all of this, and again, we've only heard about half of the verse to what we know and don't even actually know what the whole thing is going to be like. But for Kendrick Lamar, with the way he is rapping here, which from a technical perspective, this verse is truly peak hip-hop, and with Kendrick Lamar really cementing himself as the best lyricist out right now, and it's not even close here, because seriously, taking things even further, when we look at what Kendrick actually did here, well, he designed this entire track and set things up to be a sequel to the first collab with Pusha T he made in Nostalgia, not just in terms of them being back together, but again now with how the tracks mirror one another, and in all honesty, build on the lore of what they did. You actually see Kendrick's poetry just grow and blossom into something that is much more complex, yet it is still able to embody all of the reasons why he was one of the best rappers out back then. Because now when we go back to Nostalgia and see that the entire scheme that Kendrick had was centered around the word 10 there, as Kendrick created the entire scheme on this track around the word gen. Well, I guess what we can say is that all the people who thought that Kendrick does not connect with Gen Z should feel like absolute clowns, but also thanks to them, I guess, because you did make Kendrick just unleash one of his most genius performances that we have seen on this entire run he has been on. And really now, to be honest, even just adding layers to layers that we have already seen, well, for the clips, as they premiered So Be It on Funk Flex and did.
Yeah, that Jin joint, the way he flipped the word gin was crazy. That was crazy. And then ended with, I thought he said, from what I heard, but he didn't. He said Gen Z. I thought he said Jay-Z. You thought I couldn't get close to Jay. You thought I did. You thought I couldn't get close to Jay-Z. I thought that's what he said. But he said Gen. Thought I couldn't get close to Gen Z. But yeah, man, this verse is gonna be crazy when it drop next. Actually, Not next Friday, the Friday after next, in 2 weeks. I can't wait.
A classic radio premiere, which was kind of like a throwback to their era. And then now fast forward to this, and we are seeing the Kendrick Lamar track here be premiered through social media snippets, which just made the timeline go crazy. Well, would that kind of be in a response to the narrative about Kendrick Lamar not having Gen Z respect him because he won over the one thing that they are all on? Well, really, even having this song be rolled out like this, and this opening part come to the surface the way it did, and build up even more hype than ever for all of Push and Malice and what they are doing, was truly genius, and really with things from here. Well, once again, as the clips and Kendrick Lamar are showing how they are the full embodiment of everything important and defining in hip-hop, both past, present, and future. Again, if this is what they are showing us and want us to hear, I am genuinely scared for what is actually going to be on this album. And as we are all saying this, and again, this is just half of a Kendrick verse to what we know. Truly what we can say is that in every single aspect possible, from the rollout to the actual song we have heard to the anticipation and the hype that is being built up, what is more clear than ever is that Kendrick Lamar just has a pull and presence on the rap game that no other MC even can come close to, and just with this level of dominance still going up more and more after all of this time, Kendrick Lamar is truly putting himself more and more in the spot of the greatest rapper ever, and it's getting to a point where after hearing Kendrick just rap like the most competitive rapper and the most genius one, who can end anybody's career while dropping the most groundbreaking thing from a technical perspective as well. I mean, just seeing a rapper again turn all the sliders up at once and just operate on the highest level, it is truly peak and honestly unheard of. And now as again, this is just half of a verse. Well, I got nothing to say aside from the simple idea that, again, if this is what Pharrell, Push, and Malice wanted to show us, I think the rest of the rap game should be ready. Because if this is what Kendrick Lamar's verse is and it's not even the best part, I truly don't know what can come, but what I do know for sure is that it's about to be classic and peak hip-hop at its finest. And so now with all of this said, let me know.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be something in 2 weeks. The world's going to be shocked again. And people know it's coming too. So it's not like it's not like it's a surprise drop. Now people know that this is coming now. I'm going to tell y'all what I think is going to happen, though. I think Drake is going to drop something same day. I don't think Drake is going to allow this to happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm on an island, but I don't think Drake is going to allow this. I think Drake is going to try to do something that same day. I think he's going to drop something that same day. And I wouldn't be surprised if he drops Iceman that same day. But I think them putting this out there, and then I just seen that there's a Nas leak too. Yeah, I think this is something that Drake can't even prevent. He can't stop this. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I definitely think that he might do something. Now, again, go listen to if y'all want to hear the verse. I didn't really want to hear. I just heard some of it, but I don't really want to hear all of it because I want to hear actually the real version of it. And I'm not going to be able to do no breakdowns. Like I'll be able to do a breakdown, but not the audio behind it. Can't do that no more. These record labels are trying to stop people from doing it. And that's what I was going to say earlier. I lost my chain of thought. I was going to say, I think that's one of the reasons why they're going after a lot of reactors is because this is coming and I don't think they want people to react to this. Because what he's probably saying in that joint, in the end of it, wherever he's saying, I think a lot of these bars, I think it's going to really touch a lot of people. So either way, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.